this is a different. This is the same genus, different species, and a completely different story to the tall tree over here. This is a yellow box, Meliodora, and you can see, just have a look at the wood up there. See where we've had a limb cut off and it's already, the cambium layer's called over it, it's grown over it. This tree is solid, absolutely rock solid. I doubt whether there's any rot in this whatsoever. I cannot see one bird chewing on any of the branches. Remember my concern over there that every branch has got a bird chewed out the union? There's not one on this. The other thing about trees that you bear in mind is if you have a look at this tree up here above here, see where you've got the union together like this? We call that a bark included union, which could cause a problem. That's not. That's a nice open union. Have a look at all the unions on this tree. They are all open, they are all strong. Now, when I only came to this tree 2 weeks ago, the Commissioner asked me to have a look at it. The concern from one of the residents here was that all of a sudden we had a leaf drop on this tree. It looked pretty good, had a pretty good canopy, but all of a sudden in a couple of weeks it just dropped by about 50%. The problem with this tree is, and the other trees in the area, the Blakely eyes which you've got, is that they get attacked by what we call a lurt, a psyllid, which when in this time of the year, combined with a drought situation, drops all its leaves. There's new growth all over this whole tree. Okay, I believe this tree is healthy. Having said that, there are some concerns with it in the fact that, as Di has already pointed out, the original tree here was growing here, and it was damaged. I don't know how. And so consequently you've got 3 suckers, or what I was saying before, epichlormic growth basically, that came out of here. This tree here, this one here, is causing the most concern. The other 3 are perfectly healthy and stable. This has got heartwood in here. If you touch this, there's no rot here. This is solid. But this whole branch coming over here could equate to 10 tonnes, I would suggest. This is a very dense wood, extremely dense. I believe that we can manage this tree, and this tree can live for another 100 years. But we need to manage it. And what we can do is this is a dead branch across here, we'll take that off. There's probably a tonne or a tonne and a half of wood in there, believe me. There's also a number of others over there that we can cut down as well. Once we've done that, and we've taken all the other dead wood off this tree, my suggestion to the Commissioner was that we put a mulched area under the complete drip line of this tree. This area, we were told by Tams, is watered in the summer months just to keep the grass green, but it's only a very shallow water. It's not an ideal situation for a tree like this. This tree has evolved with a situation where we have wettish springs, wettish autumns, but dry winters and dry summers. If we start giving it low doses of water around it, you could possibly start to set off root problems, where it needs a good dump of water on it to get the roots just moist and then left alone. The most important thing we've got to do with this tree is we've got to exclude all vehicular traffic. Absolutely no vehicles, well, over the whole park itself, but particularly around here. And that's really all we can do. And you'll find this tree will just struggle on. It's a mature tree, what we would call a mature tree. It shows signs of decline, but it can be just kept for quite a long period of time. This is a different story to the one over there.
Mark, would you get rid of the grass before you...
You would remove all the grass, all the competition, you would mulch it down. And my suggestion to the Commissioner was, and she may not have shared it with you, is the fact that the park guardians, you people, could come on a monthly basis. One of the problems with mulch is, if it's too thick, and I'm saying, say we put a mulch down, we recommend about 75 millimetres, okay? If you get a light shower, and we've only been getting light showers across Canberra for the last number of years, it doesn't penetrate into the soil. What you can do is if you put it on lightly, say no greater than say 40 millimetres, and then on a monthly basis just give it a bit of a tickle, You then break that adhesion and allow any light showers to penetrate through, and more importantly, any heavy showers that we may or may not get. And really, with a little bit of maintenance, trimming off the dead branches, leaving the tree to its own devices, keeping the vehicles away from it, you will find this tree, I don't believe, is going to cause a hazard to anyone. When I arrived here this afternoon, there were 5 or 6 kids playing inside here, as kids do, and rightly so. No problems at all. And this could be an amenity for the whole park.
Mark, would you put a sign up or die to talk about the heritage value, or would you put anything up to ask the children to stay off the tree? What would you do?
No, I think this park needs it needs one of the heritage plaques explaining what this place is, why it is special, right? Rather than identifying elements in it.
I'd be worried about vandals.
Yeah.
If you actually targeted the tree.
But you've got to keep the vehicles out, and I think that's a solution that has to be found that's acceptable to...
in parks and on verges and medians on our public land in this city. It's not just a problem for this park, it's a problem for all of us right through Canberra. And my understanding is, some years ago, the Australian road rules were adopted by the local department, which obliterated our special rules about being able to easily issue parking tickets if you drive across a verge and into a park or onto public land. And Kerry Tucker tried in vain to do something about that because we brought it to her attention. And even when I drove here today, there were 4-wheel drives into Lopia Park with people having picnics on the grass. And no one will do anything about it. I know it's come to your attention over here, but we've got the problem everywhere. And I've been told we've got to have a fence right round, or poles sticking out, or signage that says no parking. You can be prosecuted. Otherwise, people can park anywhere. Has anyone seen Canberra Avenue recently?
Yeah.
Median, straight down Canberra Avenue, is the local parking area whenever Monica Oval or something else is happening.
Well, surely if it's a problem everywhere, it just has to change.
We have